not too familiar with the Amateur Television Society, which is interesting, as I am a real-to-life news talk show host here in Western Washington, and I've been doing that for 37 years or so. I'm still trying to be young though. So anyway, yeah, I'm sort of kind of an old hand at that, but anyway, it's great to be on and great to maybe learn something from folks, which makes it all that much more enjoyable. KJ7, Charlie Bravo Oscar.
Well, very good, Robert, and we're happy to have you. Let me send it over to James and WW7N. James, if you want to add your piece, maybe fill Robert in a little bit. Any of it would help. Go right ahead, James.
Okay, Bob. Robert, glad that you both checked in tonight. Let's see, some details that might be of interest to you, Robert. We broadcast, most of us, on an old NTSC standard signal, analog signal, up to Cougar Mountain on 70 centimeters, and there's the rebroadcast retransmission comes out on 1.2 gigahertz. And as Bob mentioned, that also gets sent usually to a streaming site, and I haven't even brought that up yet, but I take Bob's word for it if it's not working for some reason. Usually what we do on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 p.m. is we turn the video repeater hard on, and that enables some of the people on the fringe of what would be the UHF transmission range to still get in. And as Robert mentioned, we have a couple of members who have some specialized equipment that manage to get around the hills. Now, I do see K7QO, Jim out there. He just checked in on video and kicked the repeater on. So anyway, that's what we do here, usually 8 p.m. And Bob, let me pass it back to you as net control, and why don't you introduce Jim to Robert. WW7N in the group.
Okay, this is Bob, K9PQ Net Control for the Watts Net, and yeah, actually, streaming probably was working. I think it was operator error on my end. Something wasn't working here, but I got it going, and streaming is working, and I also saw Jim. So, Jim, N7QO, welcome to the net. We have James, and we have Robert, KJ7CBO, coming in from Renton. And new to amateur television, and we're just kind of getting him acquainted a little bit. I will get my video going here now that I can see the output. And Jim, why don't you take it away, N7QO. This is K9PQ and the Watts Net.
N7QO. Thank you, Bob. And hello. And hi, Jim, and hi, Robert. Well, I don't see myself very well, but that's okay. The streaming is not yet working at my location. For some reason, it takes a little while before it seems to come on. Not exactly sure what the story is with that. We've been here a few minutes sooner. I just got off the phone with Ron. Ron's surgery went well. He's at home recovering. They took good care of him at the hospital, and his wife is taking very good care of him now. And he said it only hurts when he walks. So, I don't know. He's doing well anyway. He won't be able to make the net tonight. He's kind of stuck in a recliner for now, but happy for a decent outcome, and they're going to start him on physical therapy come Monday. I think that's about all I've got to say about him. Back to you, Bob, and 7QO.
Okay, well, thanks. Thanks for that update, Jim. I appreciate it. And if it's not too late after the net, I may just give him a call myself. Robert, as I'll go ahead and take my turn. As James was saying, WU7N, James was saying, we do up on 70 centimeters and down on 1.2 gig. Because I can't get either way, I see the output on YouTube, and you can search for WW7ATS, which is our call sign on YouTube, or you can search for WW7ATS and get to our homepage, and you can get to the streaming from our website as well. So that's how I see the output, and I have a video encoder, a digitizer that takes the NTSC analog signal and streams up to the repeater. We have a corresponding device at the repeater to turn that back into NTSC, and that's how I get to the repeater. So, James, if you can switch me in, that would be great. At one time I was able to switch myself in from here, but haven't been able to for a while now. But I think I'll just make that my turn for now, and that's really good news about Ron. Happy to hear that. So with that, let's go to James, WU7N. This is K9PQ and the WatsNet, and I'll take Robert after James, and then Jim. Go ahead, James.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Well, if you're looking at the streaming right now, and how I find it is I just type in your favorite search engine, Western Washington Amateur Television Society, and maybe Google and my other search engines I use, it just knows I'm a ham radio operator by now because it's the top thing that comes up. And from there, from that side, you just click on streaming, and that's the fastest way I get there. But maybe it could be because the search engines just know what I'm always looking for, which is ham radio type stuff or communication type stuff. So that might be why it prioritizes me at the top. I don't know. So right now it's a pretty boring static picture. Jim, if you want to toss your picture up there, that might give the codec something to latch onto. And Bob, I have to actually go to another room and get a radio and hard-code it on, which I will do, and I'll do that for however long we want to run the net tonight. Beautiful day here in Bellevue. Started the day off with getting stuck at the doctor's office, and after that, got some work done around the house here, and then was able to assist a family member in getting a old barbecue off to metals recycle at the Factoria transfer station. Okay, Jim, I see your picture. It's about a 3 tonight, 2 or a 3. Thank you very much. So anyway, it might be of interest to you guys. If it's nothing but metal, you can actually go to the Factoria transfer station and just tell the nice lady there that you're just here to dump off scrap metal, and they do not charge you for that. I guess there's a lot of recyclable things they don't charge you for. That was a pleasant experience. They have everything. That facility is just immaculate. And you follow the color-coded little bars that they have written on the road. You follow that right to where you're supposed to go. It was pretty painless. There was quite a line for people actually dumping garbage that you have to pay for. And that is a little bit more expensive. So anyway, I just tossed that out there. And also, it looked like they accepted certain kinds, I believe, if I read correctly, alkaline batteries, for example, but not other kinds of batteries. You're supposed to recycle those to some, what they refer to as a commercial outlet. I'll have to do more research on that because I have some NiCads and lithium batteries that I need to recycle. So anyway, if anybody has any ideas on what you do for battery recycling these days, I guess that would be of interest to me tonight. It's about 8:15, so Bob, let me turn it back to you as net control, and I'll go get that other radio so we can hard-code the repeater on tonight. This is WU7N in the group. K9PQ, take it away.
Okay, thanks, James. This is K9PQ Net Control for the WatsNet tonight, and let's go back to Robert, KJ7CBO. Back to you, Robert.
Hey, I do appreciate it. I'm actually looking on YouTube. Can you give me the address again on YouTube, and I'll give it a look on my phone.
Well, the address is probably more complicated. I would say just in the YouTube search, just search WW7ATS. That's the call sign for our club, and that should bring it up. That will bring up. It should give you the channel, and then the live stream is. That's the only thing on our channel right now. Back to you, Robert.
All right, copy. Let me turn my phone down now. I actually have it. That's I've never seen anything quite like that, where you're able to use our mirror onto YouTube live that way. That's kind of awesome.
Rob. It's embarrassing. I'm blanking his call sign at the moment. Anyway, he set us up with this, and also with some help from others, and so we've had some good technical assistance. But yeah, it's YouTube does live streaming. There's a lot of live streaming on YouTube these days, but nearly all of it has pristine video coming up, and they optimize with the assumption that the video input will be pristine. So that's why it has a little difficulty when we've got the kinds of video that we often get from stations where it's a little bit on the fringe, and it's a bit noisy. So back to you, Robert.
Okay, copy. Yes, I'm not sure who it is. I'm looking at them. They look like they're wearing a baseball hat backwards. But yeah, it is quite. Let's see, who is that? NO7 something. Whoever it is trying to hold something up, but that's funny. But yeah, that's kind of very unique. I've never seen anything quite like that before, so that's awesome. Good going, guys. Gee whiz, it just went back to its color bars there. I'm not sure who that was, but anyway, alright, hey, I'll hand it back. Okay, J7 Charlie, Bravo Oscar.
Okay, very good, Robert. Yeah, that was Jim N7QO, who was speaking earlier, and that's his video, and we're going to go to him now. So, N7QO, go ahead, Jim.
Thank you, Bob. N7QO. Well, Robert, when they're talking about people out in the fringes, they're kind of talking about me. I don't have a clear line of sight from my location near Covington to Cougar Mountain. Cougar Mountain is where our television repeater is located, and I have a forest of trees in my neighbor's yard. He actually thinned them out several years ago, but it did not, unfortunately, improve my signal any. But we have some other issues as well, which are causing some deterioration of the signals. But most everyone else, there are just a couple of us who are out in the proverbial fringes. Most everyone else gets a much better picture into the repeater because they're a lot closer. Bob is an exception. He can't quite make it into the repeater directly, so sometimes he does so with a little bit of help from technology. But yeah, it's kind of cool being able to see who you're speaking with as opposed to just talking with them. In the past, we've had several
interesting members who would build different projects and display them. Sometimes we'll display trips that we've done, fishing, hunting, just camping, RVing. I'm not set up to really send any other pictures right now. Reset. I've had some problems, which I've never been able to recover. They put a new roof on my place a while ago, and I need to get a different setup for being able to transmit pictures into my television repeater. But other than that, you can see my signal is not really strong. A lot of snow in there, and so as Bob was saying, YouTube doesn't seem to be able to deal with that as well as we would like, but we are unique in that regard. Ideally, everyone's just looking directly at the output of a television repeater, but the YouTube channel was set up so that people who don't have the ability to view the television repeater can do so. So that's what you're seeing, and it's sort of a work in progress, but that's what we're doing. Back to you, Bob, and 7QO.
Okay, Jim. Very good. Thanks. And yeah, and you're certainly not the only one. Gary has got kind of a weak signal. Oh, there we go. Okay, so James has switched me in. Let me get off of my color bars and get my picture up there. Greetings. This is Bob K9PQ. Again on YouTube, well, it'll snap in probably after a little while, but on YouTube, everyone tells me I have a perfectly clear signal. The ones that are watching it on the video output directly, but YouTube, it takes a while to recover, and so right now what I'm seeing is pretty blurry over YouTube. I will say, we've been doing quite a bit of work on the repeater. Cougar Mountain is a wonderful site, but there's commercial stuff up there and really heavy RF, and so we've been doing a lot of RF shielding and trying to make improvements that way. And K7QJ, by the way, that's Rob. That was embarrassing. I couldn't dredge that up. So Rob has been doing a lot of the technical stuff, and I've been assisting him, but more as sort of a gopher than anything else. Let's see. Yeah, so as I say, right now we're analog NTSC. We have been talking about adding digital. One of the nice things about it is that we don't have to switch from one to the other. We can add digital. We maybe will have to have separate nets, digital net and analog net, but it's the sort of thing where we can get things a little more up to date with the current video technology. So that's on our agenda, on our plans, if you will. Let's see. I'm kind of running out of things here a little bit. Let me know, you guys, if you want to just make it a short net tonight. I would be fine with that. Let me send it on back to the top. Well, actually, before I do, let's see if there's anyone else to join the net tonight. This is Bob, K9PQ. It is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net.
well, this is an experiment tonight. I've got this theory that, when you start sending things over the ever-helpful Internet video, it really is a medium that's designed for that digital transmission. And I've been doing some reading on this. I understand that digital only updates the pixels that change. So I'm wondering if what I did is I just turned on the site camera, and Robert, what I'm seeing on my streaming right now is a picture of what the room with the equipment in looks like. And I'm wondering if we just let it sit there while I'm talking, if YouTube will sort of catch up and discard all the staticky, naughty bits from earlier, and if it'll relatch on. Because I notice every time we start the net, YouTube works really well. You've got like a 2-second delay time. And then after a few, particularly maybe some not less than perfect pictures come on, then it seems to get all confused and it never catches up for the rest of the net. So anyway, I'm really not. I'm still seeing a very slow, fuzzy picture on streaming. Robert, your picture on the 1.2 gigahertz is absolutely solid 5. That was perfect. And as we jokingly say, there was no delay on the 1.2 gigahertz because there almost isn't any. I'm sure there must be some microseconds in there somewhere. Whereas YouTube can go up to 30 seconds of delay on a bad night. So anyway, Bob, I'll keep going as long as you want to go. Let's see, what else would I have of interest here? Let's see, right now we're looking at the repeater site, and for some reason that snapped off just now and went back to color bars and ID, and now it just snapped back on to the site camera, and so the lag wasn't too bad. So the YouTube just snaps back on here too. So it was only about a 3-second delay to get back to the site camera, but it still seems like YouTube's trying to catch up with something. So, well, anyway, I enjoy the video medium. I think that you can just show people stuff, a lot of cool things. We have, I've shown all sorts of things when I did a house clean out, even things I could not identify. So it's fun when you have a larger group of people to put that up, toss that up on a video, and then let people try and guess what it is. A few of the things I really didn't know what they were, so to this day I guess it's a bit of a mystery what some of those things are. And inevitably, there's common things of interest to amateur radio operators that people discover on the web, and we share that. Usually, as I said, there's more than 4 of us. But I seem to notice in the winter, maybe people close in more, but the summertime people are busy doing other things. Well, with that, Bob, K9DQ, I will turn it back to you. This is James, WW7ATS.
Okay, James. Yeah, this is kind of unusual, actually. My experience has been that it does snap back in, usually on my signal eventually, but it's not doing it tonight for some reason. But hey, so it goes. So I'm going to go to Robert, KJ7CBO. Back to you, Robert.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. I really mean that. This, to me, is just one of the coolest things that I think that I have seen in a long time. And by the way, I did subscribe to your channel there, so that's hey, that's good. But yeah, it's awesome to see you guys with smiling faces on there. Oh, there's a smiley face. I can see it. Hey, that's just awesome. But I've never run into anything quite like that before. So doing a low-tech television transmitter and doing it the way you guys are doing it, and come to find out it actually still works is amazing. KJ7, Charlie Bravo Oscar. Hey, it doesn't take a whole lot to impress me, but I'm really impressed now.
Okay, Robert. It is definitely a bigger challenge than voice, no question about it. And being up there on Cougar with all the tremendous radio, RF fields from all of the high power transmitters just is a huge challenge. To give you an idea, when I drive up there and park, when we do our maintenance, my wireless door lock and unlock for my vehicle won't work unless I'm about 6 inches away from the door. So, okay, on we go to Jim, N7QO. Go ahead, Jim. James, can you switch? Oh, okay, Jim's got it. There we go. Okay, go ahead, Jim.
Okay, thank you, Bob. N7QO. Well, I have something. Let's see, Jim. You wanted to know about batteries. What I do with lithiums and whatnot, lead acid cells, well, those I take back usually and get a credit for those, but like compact fluorescents and whatnot, there are frequent hazardous material collection locations around town here. I would bet they come up maybe every other month, worst case quarterly, and they are near my house. There's one school which typically has them, and a fire station which typically does it, and I think they sometimes do it at a church or somewhere else. But I'm not sure how to find that. Maybe Google King County Hazmat Recycle or something like that, King County Recycle, and they could collect lithium batteries and whatever else you want to get rid of there. That's what I do anyway. And I've got something for you, Bob, when it's your turn. You look well, Bob, just out of curiosity. Have you and Sparky been sleeping well now? Just curious. K9PQ and 7QO.
Okay, Jim. Well, I think it's my turn here now. So I will. That's good timing. No, we are not. Well, Sparky is presumably, but I'm not. I think I mentioned the last net. Hopefully I wasn't complaining too much, but I think I mentioned that this has been a 5-month odyssey trying to get this all to happen. Robert, to catch you up, I've got severe sleep apnea, which I found out for sure. I got the diagnosis finally a couple weeks ago after 5 months of messing around with various, getting appointments and doctors and tests that didn't work right and not communicating between one organization and another within the medical community. Anyway, I finally got that, and I thought, okay, all right, now things are going to happen. So my doctor's office faxed the prescription to the company that was going to fill the prescription. It's like a pharmacy, I guess. I mean, it's not literally like a pharmacy, but they're a completely separate organization, and this is what they do. They fill these prescriptions for CPAP machines. They told me, well, they have to check your insurance, so give them a week. If you don't hear from them in a week, call them, and if that doesn't work, call us. So I called the company, and they said, oh, we never got this. We don't have this paperwork. So I called my doctor, and they said, well, we sent it, and we'll send it again right now. And so that was Tuesday. That was, just yesterday. Seems like longer. So I didn't call today, but I'm going to call tomorrow to this fulfillment, CPAP fulfillment place. Just make sure they've got my paperwork, see if they've maybe already checked with, the insurance, and try to move things along a little bit, but it has been hugely disappointing. I like my medical organization I'm with. I really like my GP and the other specialists I've had, but this has been just disappointment after disappointment. Okay, well, enough of that. Oh shoot, I didn't notice that I had my bars on the whole time. Well, they still haven't really cleared up. Oh well. Okay. That's at the bottom of the list. Back up to the top to James we go with WU7N. Go ahead, James.
Okay, Bob. Yeah, just to fill Robert in, the site up there, and right now what I have that's supposed to be coming out is just a picture of the room, but on the right side of that room, the picture that's being shown now, you'll see there's a telephone hanging on the wall, and there's a good reason for that phone being up there, because the RF field is so strong, most electronics just melt practically, and so you can't expect your cell phone to work, so you don't want an emergency communications channel out. Last time I tried that hardline phone on the wall, I called my own house and left myself a message, even though all I could hear in the earpiece was, I think, KJR. That's all I could hear on there. So I think with the next challenge we should take on is trying to get that telephone to work two ways in that RF environment. I'm not sure how we would do that, but I was going to start with putting a filter network on the tip and ring coming into the phone to see if it was just a handset and the bouncing network in the phone were exposed to the RF. Would the phone work? So, Bob, next time you're going to go up there, we'll have to coordinate on that. I'm going to take some stuff up there and see if that does anything with it. Let's see, on the left side of the picture, you can see the very left side is that open glass area. That's where most of our equipment is at. And then, of course, the building and the room are shared with other repeaters, which are on down the line down there. And on the far wall there is a monitor. And I think, if I do this, that's the exciting monitor, and I can see that immediately change over a 1.2 gigahertz. But I see even when you give it that, even the monitor picture on streaming, which you'd expect to be crystal clear, is still fuzzy right now. So lots of things to work on, never-ending sorts of challenges. So let me go ahead and go back to the site camera. Oops. Okay, there's the site camera. And YouTube is still, okay, just now it clicked over. So as you can see, there's a little bit of delay on the ever helpful internet. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Bob, Net Control, K9PQ. And I'll go ahead and hard-code it on, I guess, because I think the next video person up would be Jim. I see it's about 8:38 right now. So, Bob, I don't know how much you want to continue on here. We usually go till 9, but whatever you guys want to do. This is WU7N. Back to you, Bob.
Okay, very good, James. And I don't want to hog the mic here, but I forgot to mention about batteries. Our garbage pickup is by a company called Recology, and they have an actual storefront not far from me down at Canyon Park, and they take all of my hazardous recycles at no charge. As for batteries, I don't want to say this definitively because I'm not absolutely sure, but the two that I know of are obviously lead acid, and lead acid, you could take it to a auto parts store or anything like that, and as long as you're not looking to get any money out of it, they'll take it because they'll get money out of it. And then NiCad are the other ones, and I think it's the cadmium. The lithium batteries, lithium ion and just straight lithium, as far as I know, are not considered to be hazardous waste, and alkaline as well. And it's rare that I have to worry about throwing out lithium-ion batteries, but alkaline batteries I just put in the trash. Maybe not the most, the greenest thing to do, but it's It's not considered to be hazardous waste. So with that, let's see. We just had James on. We go to Robert, KJ7CBO. Go ahead, Robert.
Well, you know, speaking of your transmitter up there that you guys are using there on Tiger, it sort of reminds me years ago when I walked under actually I was going to go get a light bulb, and it just so happened to be a fluorescent light bulb. And I was walking under our transmitter antenna at a radio station years and years ago, and well, I grabbed a hold of the light bulb, walked right under the antenna, literally right under it, and the light bulb came on. And I was like, oh, how cool is that? Well, I mean, I guess only a geek could figure out how to make that work. Well, it worked. It kind of surprised me, though. That was a little enlightening in the middle of the night. But yeah, I think it's really awesome what you guys are doing. You know, not that many people can figure that out, but as far as batteries and all this, oh boy. You know what, I know some folks that have a ton of batteries, and I would hate to know where they have to end up taking those to recycle them when their lifespan is spent. Some of those batteries are 60 and 80 pounds, so that is a huge battery, if you can imagine. And they've got probably 15 of them. So yeah, that's a lot of weight in those batteries. Back to the net. KJ7, Charlie Bravo Oscar.
Okay, very good, Robert. Well, yeah, and what you experienced with the fluorescent light and what we experienced with our cell phones is also a warning to not stay up there too long. It's definitely not good for the health. Okay, on to Jim, N7QO. This is Bob, K9PQ, and the WatsNet. Go ahead, Jim.
Thank you, Bob, N7QO. Well, one thing interesting, I have observed that different locations have different requirements for disposal or recycling. Like alkaline batteries are not supposed to be thrown in the trash in Europe, but I heard that it's perfectly fine to do that here. Lithiums, well, I don't know. I think if they're lithium primaries, they can actually be tossed, but if they're rechargeables, they're supposed to be recycled. But I don't know for sure. I just kind of throw everything in a bag and haul it off to the hazmat disposal location. Maybe twice a year, maybe only once a year, depending upon how much stuff I wind up collecting. But it's just interesting how different locations can assess different threat values to different merchandise. Or maybe it's more like you say, Bob, if they can get money for recycling a certain item, that may be the impetus to have you take something in somewhere. I don't know. I don't get it all. But I just try to do what they want me to do and try not to screw up. Sometimes it's a challenge, though. K9PQ and 7QO.
Okay, well, thanks, Jim. Back to my turn again. And, so I believe with Recology, because I think they've actually asked me when I go in, they want to make sure I'm a customer, so I think I'm paying them as part of my garbage service to be able to take this stuff. So I don't think anyone can just walk in and do that. In North Seattle, there is a hazardous waste, and I think they'll take it from anybody. I don't know if it's King County or if it's City of Seattle, and I'm trying to remember what the last time I went there, if I had to, I don't think I had to show ID or anything to, so I think you can just drive up there and drop it off if it's hazardous waste. They don't want to take stuff that's not hazardous, though, so that's where the battery thing, you might have to sift through them, and I doubt they'll take alkaline, and I'm not sure about the lithium or lithium-ion. But yeah, the Recology store, it's very handy for me because it's 5 minutes from my home, and it's open, normal store hours. And they do sell things as well. They sell all kinds of green stuff, and but it's very, very handy to have that nearby. There was something else I wanted to mention as well, and it's not coming to me. Let's see, the batteries for James, Robert, Jim, nope, sorry, not coming to me. So I think I'll just pass it along, and back up to the top to James. Oh, I know, I guess it was just about the net itself. Why don't we make this a 73 round? Go ahead, take as long as you want, but let's make this the last go-round. So let's go up to James for your 73 round, and this is Bob, K9PQ, and the Watts net.
Okay, Bob, thank you very much. That's fine with me. Sorry to hear you're having problems with getting a CPAP machine. As I recall, back when I got mine, it didn't seem to be any big deal with that. And of course, what we're all really concerned about is, is your cat sleeping okay? I mean, not you or anything, but so keep us updated on Sparky there. And seriously, I hope it goes better for you. I think you would really sleep a lot better, and you would really find that it affects your whole life in a very positive way. So anyway, good luck with that. The one thing I've always been interested in Amaze, it works, is the very camera that you're looking at right now, which is now coming over on streaming, Robert. That camera and a lot of the digital stuff does work in the heavy RF environment, which always amazes me that does work. Analog things or anything with a wire longer than 1 inch doesn't seem to work too well. And of course we have to have added all sorts of other filters, including all kinds of filters on the power supplies to the equipment. Or the very strong RF will just jump right onto the various DC supplies and pump that into your equipment. So anyway, that's kind of the picture of the site there. I'm going to go back to a repeater ID right now. And we'll see how long that takes to come over on YouTube. 73s, everybody. Good net tonight. Bob, thanks for running it. Jim, good to hear from you. Robert, hope you'll come back. And this is James with the uniform, 7 November, WW7N. Thank you, everybody, for your ideas on battery recycling. Yeah, more research required, but it'd be nice to do something other than just throw them in the landfill. But I have a feeling an awful lot of batteries go to the landfill. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys next Saturday at 8 p.m. perhaps. I'll be here. WW7N, good evening.
Very good, James. And just a very quick comment on the RF, on the power. One of the interesting things that we've done to try to reduce that, we used to have a single 12-volt power supply and have all of the wires going from there. Now we have, for each 12-volt, each piece of equipment that needs 12 volts, we have a 12-volt wall wart that can supply enough current, and each one has a filter as well on the wire, but it's to prevent the propagation of all the RF across the 12-volt supplies. So over to you, Robert, KJ7CBO. This is K9PQ in the Watts net.
Well, hey, I do greatly appreciate it. You guys are great. Doing a great job. Fantastic net. A fun one. And I definitely will be paying a visit back to you guys in the future. Now that I found you guys, hey, that's half of it, right? Anyway, 73 everyone, and to the gentleman that is having some problems at night resting, I hope that you are able to rest decent. I know I've got some problems at night getting up and down. It is absolutely a roller coaster. So I feel for you with that. Anyway, take care, everyone. KJ7, Charlie Bravo Oscar, 73, everyone. Good night.
Very good, Robert, and thanks. Yeah, I'm very hopeful that when I get the CPAP machine, things will change dramatically. Okay, on we go to Jim and 7QO. Go ahead, Jim.
And 7QO. Thank you, Bob. Well, I will keep my fingers crossed on the receipt of your CPAP machine there. I hope it all works out well. Thank you all for participating, and thanks for the pictures. And I'll catch you next net, unless my one-woman entertainment committee sees fit for me to do something else. So, good night all, and 7QO.
Okay, well, thank you as well for joining Jim and James and Robert. We're very happy to have you, and do come back. We usually have about twice as many people. It's still a pretty small group, but we usually have a bigger group. So I'll just say my 73s, and good night to everyone, and good net tonight. I'm glad we didn't cancel. Good night, all. This is K9PQ, closing the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net, and at this time we want to thank the CTAC Repeater Group for the use of their repeater to use to coordinate the voice channel of our ATV net, and we really appreciate them keeping this repeater in good working order, and it allows us to cover a wide area, so we're happy about that. Okay, this is K9PQ, closing the net and saying 73 and good evening to everyone. And I am clear.
WW7N disconnected.